95% of the industry is a scam. Fully autonomous AI can and does beat human capabilities at managing ad campaigns. The white collar workers, they're the first in line to get butchered from the AI.
That of 90% of agencies are, to put it blatantly, scammers. That's the explosive view of our guest today, David. David is the founder and CEO of GROAS AI, a company that doesn't just use AI. It's building fully autonomous agents to replace the marketing agency model entirely. He has the numbers to back it up too, with his system now managing over $35 million in monthly Google ad spends for clients who have fired their human-led teams. And if I'm not mistaken, Jack Dorsey just also did something similar. But David isn't your typical Silicon Valley founder. He's a former private equity investor who managed billions, a computer scientist from a university college in London, and a fiercely independent bootstrapped entrepreneur who has scaled his company to massive success without taking a single dollar from venture capital. He's a contrarian, a provocateur, and he's here today to make a case for why the future of marketing is not human-led, but autonomous. We're going to talk about the death of the agency, the rise of AI agents, and why he believes getting punched in the face repeatedly is the best education a founder can get. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. That's quite the intro. Appreciate it.
Thank my AI because I do this with everything. They do deep dives on all of my guests to give me a good summary and give me a good format of an intro. So I'm heavily into the AI space. I'm just not autonomous yet because I still want the human. I'm still like, I want the decision. So I want to start off with one quick question. What's one hard truth in your industry that nobody wants to talk about?
9 months ago, I was building a tool for Google Ads. It was helping marketers. We can go into like what V1 looked like if you want. But yeah, I definitely didn't envision that we could get to full autonomy so quickly. Yeah. But obviously, prior to that, as you mentioned in the intro, I was working full-time in private equity, whilst at the same time in the evenings running dropshipping stores, right? So getting really good at Google Ads and Meta Ads that way. So it was kind of whilst doing that the idea for GROAS, the idea for building something for Google Ads that didn't exist before, sort of came to my mind. And then I set on the journey of building V1, which is night and day compared to what we have today.
So how did V1 start? Let's go into that. Like what did it used to do and is different now?
Yeah. So one of my dropshipping stores was selling electric male intimate trimmers. So in the UK market. So maybe you're familiar with Manscaped. I had a competitor brand. I was dropshipping for some trimmer from China, whatever. And I found that people, when I was looking at the search term report every day, I found that people were buying, it was a one product store. We did nothing else, but people were buying that product from a variety of different angles, right? So somebody was buying, a woman was buying it for her male partner. Someone had been looking for a chest hair trimmer. Then they found this and thought, okay, I could use that. Someone had been looking for an arm hair trimmer. Same story there. So people were buying this product from a variety of different angles, which kind of makes sense. And so then I started to think, what if I could take my product page, which is a very simple, basic product page. What if I could customize the copy on that product page to dynamically match the search intent of the user? Surely that could increase conversion rate. So surely if somebody searched up arm hair trim on Google, they then see an ad that speaks exactly to the need of arm hair trimming. When they click on the ad, the product page, everything on the product page speaks exactly to the need of arm hair trimming, how this is the best thing in the world for trimming arm hair. Surely that might increase results, right? So GROAS V1 focused basically on that, right? So generating these ad and landing page combinations, right? So taking somebody's landing page, doing some dynamic copy on that at a very basic primitive level, and then also doing stuff around search terms and keywords. So finding new keywords that maybe you weren't looking for, adding stuff to the negative keyword list, so saving people budget. So it was like basic things. So something that actually helped a marketer day to day. So people would come into GROAS and use it. It was a product, right? Sure. Correct. We can cut off that. So yeah. Funnily enough, the customers who may be the least sophisticated with marketing were the people who when they signed up were kind of expecting full autonomy. They're like, oh, isn't this supposed to run my ads for me? which is an absolutely insane engineering problem, right? To do something genuinely fully end-to-end that we're confident can outperform humans and is not just doing crap, right? Yeah. And inside of Google Ads Console, by the way, there are so many possible actions that a human can take, right? So that's another thing we hadn't even solved for. Yeah.
It confuses the hell out of me. I have no marketing background. It scares me to go in there.
Correct. I mean, and by the way, that's exactly why the Google Ads agency, let's say, market is so big because most people, it's actually quite tricky to use, right? Anyway, so those V1 users, right, back when GROAS was actually a product that people had to come in and use, that gave us so many insights. And then we started basically on this journey of building full autonomy, which was really tricky. Engineering wise, probably took us 5 months end to end. And this is now in the age of AI where you can build products really quickly, right? It took us, I think, probably 4 to 5 months where we're like, all right, cool, we have something here that works and we're deploying it on real customer campaigns. And now it's like a self-fulfilling loop because the autonomy gets better and better. I'll stop talking because I've yapped a lot there.
No, it's interesting, yeah, because you started as an iterative approach, and then how did you get the model to self-reflect?
Good question. So there's 2 levels, and I don't want to give away too much learning, right? In what we have today, which again, I don't describe as a product. It's not a product because a product means it's something that people use. People do not use GROAS. And I tell this to my engineering team every day. If people are logging into GROAS, we get an alert. That means we're doing something wrong. People should not be logging into GROAS or Google Ads, right? This is not how it should work. But inside GROAS, there is one button that exists inside a campaign where basically you can view all the actions that GROAS has taken. There's a button called undo, and you can give some feedback. So you can undo an action GROAS took. You give some feedback. That helps with our learning. The other stuff we're doing, we are now, again, we're now growing really, really quickly. That gives us the capability to do 2 things. Do learning at the account level, right? So somebody connects an account, maybe they're in a particular niche. We can learn and see insights for that particular account, see what sorts of things work well for that account, right? That's one thing. The other thing, which is going to get exponentially better over time, and this month has been crazy, is the multi-account learning. Because now we have so many customers across so many different niches. We have agencies with their customers, whatever. We have so much data and insights. So that also feeds effectively the GROAS learning loop. So yeah, things are only going to get better over time.
Very fair. And I really want to understand, so you want to replace the agencies, right? That was one of the statements I came across. You want to replace the marketing agencies. How did that mission come about?
Well, it's tricky because we also work with them, by the way. Let's just be very clear.
Okay, yep.
Well, we have two types of customers at GROAS now. People who have fired their agency and just plug their entire account into GROAS, customer segment number 1. Segment number 2 are agencies using GROAS without telling their end customers a word that they're using GROAS, right? We offer agencies an approach, right? We say, okay, you can either do that, which is fine, and they will never know. We'll do it such that they never know. Or 2, you can actually tell your customer, hey, I want to use GROAS. The customer pays for out of pocket. Agency takes a recurring commission. Everyone's happy. Nobody is doing the second. Every agency we have is doing the first. And by the way, these are very respectable agencies. People I respect, people like strong ones, right? I will say though, from taking on the customers that are firing their agencies, I would say 95% of the industry is a scam, right? They're complete cowboys. And that's a very strong word, but I'll tell you why, right? Anybody in the world can set up a Google Ads agency tomorrow, right? All you have to do, buy a domain, put up a couple of fake case studies on there, right? Everyone fakes case studies. It's like everyone does this. Fake some case studies, start getting some traffic to it, either by running some cold emails and paid ads, get your first client and then repeat, right? You don't need any like license, any certification. You can just take on a Google Ads account and just start charging a retainer of like 3-4K a month and get on with it. 95% of agencies, I think, fall in that bucket, right?
Yeah. And
I only say this from like historical experience of taking on those previously managed agency accounts. We see what they've done. We see the damage and we see what they've done. And it's like, look, my grandmother who's 95 can probably do a better job at running that account. Okay. So yeah, what I think will happen, right? We're in a massive, transitory phase. GROAS is still super, super early, but we're in the age of AI, so things are happening quicker than ever. I think in the next 5 years, basically a lot of these agencies will just not be around anymore. And it's only the good agencies, respectable agencies who maybe are using a lot of AI tools themselves or buying off the shelf, they're the ones who will stick around.
I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more individual oriented in the future. Like even myself, like I use AI daily for everything I do. And it's like, I feel more human for doing it. It's weird, but I feel more human by using the AI to be able to do these things. My only concern is not having the human in the loop. Why does your company, why do you want to go fully autonomous?
And there's no, I mean, once you've started, there's kind of no getting back, I think. I mean, also, I mean, the short answer as to why also GROAS outperforms humans, I'll tell you this simply.
Yeah.
Data. A human can only process so much data to make a decision. GROAS is processing hundreds of thousands of data points per hour per campaign in order to make the decisions it makes, right? So it's just seeing more is the short answer, right? That's why, I mean, media buying, running ads, a lot of people will try and sell it as these agencies. They'll sell it as like, oh, it's a taste thing, it's an intuitive thing, it's artistic. No, media buying is a quantitative game, right? It's a quantitative game. The more data points you can analyze in real time, the better you're going to do. It's just as simple as that. So yeah, that's the short answer to that. Is it's AI models can simply process more data.
And 10 years out, what do you see? Or not even 10. Let's go 5. 10's too far. Even 5. Yeah. Let's go next year. Yeah, probably better.
Sure.
Let's go next year. What do you see for your company?
Look, I don't know. We're extremely heads down, right? I've also run this company in an unorthodox way in many ways. One, because we've been, fully remote basically from day one. I don't really care where people are based, but I'll travel sometimes to go and see particular people. I don't mind. I think sometimes that's also good. 2, haven't taken $1 in funding. We get VCs messaging us now probably once every few days. We're not going to go down that route. I used to work in the industry. I know what it is. So these 2 things already put out like, that's not the typical Silicon Valley play of let's get some office and try to raise $20 million. I've been very stubborn about doing those things, right? Yeah. Now, where do I see GROAS? Up until now, like I said, all of our growth, by the way, has come fully organic, which is customers referring other customers and LLMs referring GROAS. So people are searching into LLMs. Hey, well, Google Ads, whatever. GROAS comes up, they sign up. This last month has been ridiculous for us. Too much. Like we have taken on too much. So now I'm in a rush to basically try hire more people, and I've kept things lean on purpose, right? Because I prefer to have less people who I can pay really, really well than have more people. Anyway, so the short answer is we've been basically super heads down on product, scaling organically, right? Now we're going to hire some more. And then probably in the next month or 2 start actually, for the first time ever, getting aggressive on marketing, which will mean running paid ads, doing all that sort of stuff. But up until now, we have done nothing, which is interesting.
Fair enough. If you want to plug your a job campaign in here, if you want, go right ahead.
I mean, look, if you're somebody who knows all about Google Ads, by all means, message me, dp@groas.ai, and we'll chat.
There we go. Sometimes you never know. At least it gets out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Why? So, tell me about some horror stories from the VC days. Why did you decide not to go VC?
Good question. Look, horror stories is a big word. I used to work in private equity, 2 different funds in London. Before that, I worked at 2 VC funds, right? So one was a summer internship. So I say worked. One was a summer internship before I graduated, but it was at a really top VC fund out in Berlin. I won't name the name. And the other was at a London-based VC fund just before I joined the private equity world, right? I have a lot of personal friends that are VCs full time. So I'm very familiar with that world too. Like I'm very familiar with the world. And I was also on the other end of a lot of deals that we did, et cetera, et cetera. The problem with the VC model is that I have seen countless times where you have a company that has a good product, a good team, is growing well. So everything is going well. But they raise VC money, which means they have built a structurally unprofitable business from day one. But because they are not growing at some insane rate, guess what happens? They can't raise the next round of funding. So they get to Series A and they can't raise that next round. So now they've done all the hard work of building a really good team, a really good product, get paying customers, right? And maybe they're at, let's say, 2 million ARR, which isn't bad by any standards, but the growth rate is not good enough. They can't raise another round of funding, company dies. And I've seen this countless times. So that for me was, I think, the big thing of seeing like, okay, I want to do things on my own terms, right? That was another reason I quit my job too. I much prefer to be doing things on my own terms. So yeah, the VC world always kind of threw me off because of that. I mean, also, most people don't understand VC incentives very well, right? VCs have their own incentives, right? The incentive of VC is to invest in your company, great, at a valuation, let's say $10 million. They invest at 10. They need the next guy, they need the next investor to invest at a valuation of 50 million. So that the VC themselves can go to their own investors and say, hey, look, we've got a 5x markup, right? And look like geniuses and then raise their own funds, right? To collect the management fees. That they don't care if you actually exit. They just need that bump to go to new investors and raise new funds. So Ponzi scheme is a big word. Obviously, I don't think it's that. But there's a lot of that going on, right? There's a lot of that going on. So for me, it was about keeping our independence, growing at our own rate. I actually don't think GROAS probably would have made it if I took VC funding. Yeah. I honestly don't think we'd have made it right now. So yeah,
I think it might have actually been. Yeah, I think it actually might have been buried because you're touching on a market that's so multi-billion dollar market that somebody's pocketing, like putting in their pocket, right? Yeah. I see. It's funny you said that because like that's if anybody's watched Silicon Valley, that's kind of what played out in that season. There was like take the low ball offer because sometimes that's a better a better run at things.
Exactly.
And it actually cries to what I'm doing here. So I'm building this as a media company. So The Weird Canadian is my podcast that I'm going to build into a company that I can protect creators for. So I'm going to bring on people into my channel and stuff like that will grow TV shows, movies, that kind of thing, and let them keep their creative.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to try to do anyways. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, I think we're getting a lot more towards altruistic tech guys being like, hey, screw the system. We're just going to build it our way. Is that kind of what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, right? Again, also comes down to, I think, personality to an extent, right? Personality traits. Again, the second you take money from somebody else, whether it's a VC, whether it's an angel investor, whether it's your family, the second someone has ownership in your company, you now have a fiduciary responsibility to that person. You have to report to them, right? Not doing so, I think, is not ethical, right? So for me, wanting to maintain 100% ownership, a key reason was just to do things effectively my own way, right? And so far it's paid off. It definitely was much, much harder in the beginning when I had, not so many funds. We're in a very competitive space. Finding good engineers is very expensive. So it made the start a lot harder, right? It would have been so much easier if I had like 3 million sitting in the bank, no doubt. But it didn't play out that way. And now obviously we're in a good position. But yeah, the start was definitely very painful at times.
Oh, I had something there and I was going to run with it. What was it? Do you expect to step back? Do you expect at some point to replace yourself with an
AI? Possibly. If it's making better decisions than me, then yes. Ultimately, that's the job of a founder, a CEO, is to make the most optimal decisions. I wouldn't mind it. It's a lot of work. Look, I also think we don't know what companies are going to look like in 5-10 years. It's still so unclear, right? The world is changing. It's crazy rates. I don't think that most people are prepared for what's coming. So who knows what companies will look like, right? Sam Altman keeps talking about, he mentioned this a while ago, about the first $1 billion solo company. So you have one person with a $1 billion company. That will definitely be a thing in the next 5 years, 100%.
Yeah. At the same time, I worry about like it taking too much of humanity. Like, do you worry
yes,
unleashing autonomous agents on the world? Like we're going to terrorize and turn into Terminator. That's my kind of concern here.
Terminator is probably further away than we can predict, but what I think is likely to happen is UBI. So universal basic income. That's most likely I think what will occur, or worse, right? And they're not going to do it because they're trying to be nice, but because they'll have no choice. I think civil unrest might occur. I think things could get ugly. Things could possibly get ugly. So let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, my view of the future is a little bit, and I'm at like probably the frontier of this, right? And even I myself am concerned, for myself and also for people I know, right? Like people, the white collar workers, they're the first in line to get butchered from the AI.
It's funny. It's funny because the first time I saw ChatGPT 3.0, like when it was released, I was sitting in an office working for the government as a software engineer, and I looked at it, I'm like, I'm in the wrong industry. And since that point, I've come to this point where I quit my job. I'm now doing this full time. I'm like just completely different in what I'm doing because I'm like, there's no way I survive this.
Yeah.
So I looked like, okay, what do I want to do? How do I structure this? And that's where I came to this model. So yeah, I think people need to start looking at their lives and being like, okay, how do I brace myself?
Yeah.
What are some tips that people can do to really understand this?
Honestly, I'm not sure. It's tough, right? I think I heard. So it's funny when you listen to all the CEOs of the actual like the frontier model companies, Altman, Dario, all these guys. They don't really have that like good answers themselves. But I think the general theme is just be adaptable. Be adaptable. Have high agency. And be adaptable. I think those are the only things that are predictable. But then again, at the same time, right? Maybe I'm too doomer on the whole thing because these big tech changes, they do take always longer than we think. So I don't think like this time next year there's civil unrest. It's going to take longer than that, I reckon, right?
But
yeah,
depending on how Iran goes right now, we're at the point. Yeah, that whole situation I'm not going to talk about. Anybody who's listening can go look that up because it'll be in the future when we put this out.
yes.
But yes, I did want to ask in terms of the doom and gloom. So I've been running this theory lately that the doom and gloom is self prophesizing.
Yeah.
I've because I inherently understand like inference learning, I'm starting to see like a lot of reflection in LLMs in people. And I'm wondering if that doom and gloom scenario is just kind of like our LLMs reflecting that self-fulfilling prophecy of like, my human thinks I'm doom and gloom, so I got to think doom and gloom. I just wonder what you thought about that theory. Because like I really see it in the big people, like the people in the frontier models are so, this is my stance because I've run it with my scenarios, with my team and my AIs. And I'm like, but that's all built by you.
Yeah. I like the other angle on all this is that these frontier model companies are raising insane amounts of money, right? Insane. I think Altman, I saw $100 billion, $110 billion yesterday. So in order to justify those valuations, they need to also, give the impression that, hey, it's coming for everything. Like if you're raising $110 million, let's say you're valued at, I don't know, 500 billion. They're probably valued at more, right? Let's say 600 billion. The investor who's investing in that round is looking for a 2 to 3x return, which is like pretty standard. That means they need to believe that the market opportunity is in the trillions, which means you need to believe that AGI is here and that particular company is going to get to it first and then embed it and then have the distribution baked in. So a lot of, maybe they're also doing it a bit on purpose, right? To be like, yeah, it's over. It's over. I'm sorry. Maybe there's a bit of that going on.
Let's just all stop inventing AI. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe there's a bit of that going on. The short answer is I genuinely think no one actually knows, really what's going to happen. Governments are always super slow to act anyway. They've got no idea. So no one really knows, I think, what's going to happen. We'll just have to see, effectively. It's the adoption curve, which will tell us everything, I reckon.
Fair enough. I've kind of run out of questions, but I'm going to loop it back so that we can, because I realized we didn't kind of go through how GROAS works. So I feel like we should probably do a little talk about how it works and how somebody can take advantage of it.
Okay, yeah. So look, two ways that people work with GROAS, right? One is they have existing campaigns that are running, right? And they basically click one button called Activate GROAS, and then it just starts running that campaign autonomously. Or two, which is about 20%, 25% of usage, which is people let GROAS create a campaign from scratch, right? And that campaign comes with super detailed keyword research, all the stuff we spoke about, right? It creates campaigns far, 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 far better than I think 99% of humans I've seen create campaigns. It does this in 5 to 10 minutes. And there's a time-saving element, but more importantly, it's the performance element. Why does it do that? Obviously, it's a big claim to make. The reason is, a big part of the Google Ads is the keyword research element. GROAS has really good ideas based on real-time data on what keywords you should be using in your campaign, right? Based on your brand, your offer, like a million different things it's tracking. It says, okay, like this is your best bet at having a campaign that has a good ROI. Anyway, so once you've, again, connected the campaign to GROAS, then it just starts working. So actually the first 7 days, it does nothing. It just watches, it learns, it observes, it's looking at the patterns, looking at the data in real time. And then after that, it starts slowly taking actions. And the actions it can take are literally anything, and I mean anything that a human would do inside the Google Ads console, right? So there's, like we discussed earlier, a lot of possible actions, right? Adding a keyword, removing a keyword, pausing an ad, regenerating ad copy, regenerating the landing page, hundreds of possible actions. GROAS just starts doing them non-deterministically based on the campaign and just starts running, right? And you see, we have a UI. Again, if it was for me, there wouldn't be a UI, but we have one. So people can log in and actually go and see what changes GROAS is making and why. It gives you detailed reason as to why it did everything it's done. Then at the end of the week, it will send you an email, a report, and say, look, it will summarize basically all of the actions that it took that week and why to that campaign. So on average, GROAS might take in a given week 200 actions, let's say, on a particular campaign, sometimes more, sometimes less, depends on the budget, depends on many things. And then summarize in an email, hey, we did this, and this is why it happened, and this is what happened to your performance as a result of these actions. Just to give you some context on that, humans might take, and these are professional PPC agencies charging 5K a month, 10K a month, et cetera, they might make 10 to 15, 20 actions in a week, if that. They'll log in once, adjust a couple budgets, maybe rewrite ad copy quickly, and that's it. And then they might send you a quick report if they feel like it every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. So that's effectively it, right? Yeah. Does that kind of answer it?
Fair enough. The only other thing I had a question on was it's not run on anybody's computer, like it's self-hosted and everything. Because I was going through your website and it kind of looks like it uses your email. But is that like it doesn't run on your machine is what I'm asking.
No. Yeah. It doesn't run on your machine. No.
Yeah.
So all you do is you create a GROAS account in the app, great. And then you connect your Google Ads account, and then basically GROAS takes over from there. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. So I'll just give you the last little bit to plug who you are, where you're at, anything you have coming up, and I'll make sure everything's down in the comments below for all the audience.
Sure. Look, not too much to plug because I've been yapping on about GROAS for the last 25 minutes, but yeah,
fair.
If you want to find us, it's groas.ai. My email is dp@groas.ai if you have any questions. And yeah, happy to help in any way I can.
Perfect. And to everybody out there, like I will make sure that I have the link there. I'm definitely going to check it out myself. So to everybody out there, thank you very much and stay weird.
Thank you.